Hi there, Rabbi. Once again, we see the contrasts between our personal styles, you in your immaculate room and me in my junk pile. But I still enjoy our visits together. What's up for today?
Well, Joe, I've been listening to, obviously, all of us have been listening to the politics, the conventions, and people saying things. And what came to mind was a quote, was scripture, the Torah. But of course, Genesis, that's the Bible. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, in the image of God created he him, male and female, he created them. That passage came to mind after listening to some comments.
Comments about the vice presidential candidate's son, if I'm not mistaken.
That's exactly what triggered this thought that human beings are created in God's image. I just found it very offensive that here was a young man expressing himself, and that was God talking. He's created in God's image, and yet there are many that would criticize God's image.
Well, and there are a lot of people who say that we're too PC these days, but I don't think anybody really approves of anyone making fun of anybody with a disability.
And I'm watching the Paralympics. Well, it hasn't started yet, but the preliminaries. And there was a woman swimmer with no legs. And then there was a runner with those artificial metal legs that look like springs. And all of these people, everyone, it says it in the scripture, an image of God. And it's more than just ignorant. It's not just disrespectful. You're denying a basic truth that whether someone is physically different, emotionally different, has some uh, psychological problems, we all have God's image in us. So how do I want to treat God? I can talk to God in some imaginary way, but when I look at another human being, it says in scripture, God created that person in his image. So it's as if I'm talking to God. And I would challenge all these people who are making fun of or want to put down or don't want to support or don't want to put money into programs for those that aren't as perfect as they think they should be. My challenge to them is you're looking at an image of God. Is this really what you want to portray? Is this how you would treat God, with disrespect?
And my late brother-in-law, God rest his soul, had a learning disability, and we became very close over the years. And it was always interesting to see people staring at him out of the corner of their eyes. Whenever we'd go in to get a slice, uh, everybody behind the counter knew Jeff and would say, "Hey, Jeffrey, how are you?" And after he passed, I went back in his memory to get a piece of pizza and tell them what had happened. And they told me stories about how much they admired him, what an admirable character is, how he was courageous, how he was intelligent. Things that we don't get to know if we just judge a person by the initial impression.
And Joe, my 100 years experience as a rabbi and as a hospital chaplain, I have learned that each one of us is wrestling with something, whether it's physical, emotional, psychological. We all have. And we want to recognize that God created diversified people. God created people of different colors. God created people with different emotions. God created people with different abilities and disabilities, unabilities, things they can and can't do. But we all are in God's image. And that's what I want our viewers and listeners to take away from. Whenever we see any other human being, we want to say, created in God's image, this is how I want to treat God, rather than denying them, making fun of them. I want us to walk away, all of us, in God's image.